We're going to the ancient stone chamber. Can you tell me more about Lemuria? Is this something totally made up, or is there something legitimate here?
Lemuria was very pure.
I needed to shake it out of my legs. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but whoa, buckle up because something is about to go down. So I got a story for you guys, and I know all of you who are super into ancient civilizations and star systems and star seeds and light language. All of y'all are gonna especially love this one. And if you're not into that or you're super skeptical of all of that, I also think you're really gonna enjoy this because I had quite an experience here in Bali at an ancient Lemurian stone chamber. I cannot make logical sense in my brain around what happened in this session. It was mind-blowing. With that being said, let's get into it. Deep in the chronicles of ancient history lies the enigmatic tale of Lemuria, a lost continent shrouded in mystical mystery and myth. Lemuria, also known as Mu, was believed to be a vast landmass that once existed in the Pacific Ocean, stretching from present-day Hawaii to Madagascar. The concept of Lemuria emerged in the 19th century through the work of biologist Philip Sclater. In 1864, Sclater proposed the existence of the submerged landmass to explain the distribution of lemurs in India and Madagascar. Sclater derived the name from the lemurs themselves, the primates native to Madagascar. However, beyond its scientific origins, Lemuria became steeped in mythology and lore. Some spiritual traditions suggest that Lemuria was a highly advanced civilization, inhabited by beings of great wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. According to these beliefs, Lemurians were highly attuned to the energies of the earth and lived in harmony with nature. In New Age circles, Lemuria is often revered as a golden age of spiritual enlightenment, where beings existed in a state of oneness and interconnectedness with the cosmos. Many claim to have memories or past life connections to this ancient civilization, recalling lives lived in lush gardens and crystal cities. Some theories even suggest that Lemuria was linked to another legendary lost continent, Atlantis. Although there's virtually no evidence that proves ancient Lemuria really existed, you hear this discussed in New Age hippie circles all the time. I've been in Bali for a month, and there's a lot of theories and discussion in the spiritual community here that Bali has deep Lemurian roots. So when I heard that there's an ancient Lemurian stone chamber right here in Ubud, I knew I had to go. But first, let me explain how this all happened. So we're about to go on a very uncharted adventure. I really don't know what we're about to do today, what we're walking into. I kind of am just following the breadcrumbs of the clues of where I'm being called to go and what I'm being called to share on this channel. So basically, I went to go see this woman. I was thinking of renting her house here in Bali. I didn't end up renting her house, but what she told me is that you're Lemurian. Honestly, I was trying to understand this when I'm researching it, and I was like, I don't get it. The reason why this kind of happened is because we started talking light language to each other, like in her living room. We just started talking light language, and she's like, you're Lemurian, and you need to go get the codes of ancient Lemuria. Just to go over it very quickly, basically light language is the channeling of sound frequency kind of beyond human language, and some people believe it may have origin to other lifetimes, potentially on other star systems. In this case, an ancient civilization like Lemuria. I cannot tell you how deeply this modality and this way of expressing has transformed me and the way that I speak my truth and unleash my voice. So wherever it comes from, it's helping me, and I'm gonna go with that. I don't know. Anyway, she told me, you're Lemurian and you need to go see my friend Laura, who guides people to an ancient Lemurian chamber. It's a secret chamber here, and we keep the location very hidden and very secret, but you can go with her and she'll take you to have an activation. an activation in the chamber, and I'm like, I love activations. I love ancient chambers and secret places. So I'm in. The fact that ancient Lemuria's name comes from research on lemurs is just ridiculous. Like, that just makes me feel like this is just not real. I still am skeptical of the whole ancient Lemuria thing, ancient Atlantis. Like, I don't really know enough to have a strong opinion about whether or not these ancient civilizations actually existed. I just want to fully immerse myself in something, experience it, and I try and come at it from the perspective of the child, the innocence and the purity of the curiosity that children have to learn about something new, to experience something new. And with that being said, let's get into it. Let's go and let's get some answers. We're going to the ancient stone chamber. Wow, it's so mystical. So my friend Olivia recommended this amazing Balinese videographer named Ray to come with me on the adventure. Shout out to Ray. He's so sweet and just like the purest soul. So I felt really good having him by my side for this and documenting this whole thing. Hi. Hello. Thank you so much. We're going on an adventure. Woohoo! So one thing I should mention is that this is a paid experience. It cost me about $111. It's not cheap to go to the ancient chamber, but hopefully it's gonna be worth it. It better be worth it, okay? I really wanna see if there's anything to this. Is this something totally made up, or is there something legitimate here? Is this real? Do you know anything about the stone chamber?
Stone chamber?
The Lemurian stone chamber?
Yes,
you
chamber.
Do.
Yeah, in the area, like there's something, there are power.
There's power?
Yeah, in this stone power, you can feel like, you can feel different feeling.
Different, you can feel things?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know that the girl have the menstruation, cannot coming inside, like that.
What? Oh. You're not having menstruation inside the chamber?
Yeah, cannot come inside.
No. I don't have my menstruation right now, or otherwise we could test that theory. What's your name?
My name is Kadek.
Huh?
Kadek.
Kardec?
Balinese call is Kadek.
Kardec.
Okay. The second.
Kardec. Kardec.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you can feel things in the chamber when you go there?
Every night.
Every night?
Yes, when I'm walk to in the night, the checking area like that, and then I feel something different, something energy like that.
You feel the energy?
Yeah, good energy. There are something power different.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Suksma.
Mawali.
Suksma. So I can't say where this chamber actually is. It's like a total secret, and I can't tell you guys where it is or how to access it, but we show up to this location to meet Laura. Hi. When I met Laura, it's Miss Laura. I felt like this warm, loving, nurturing, motherly, precious, angelic energy just smother me when she hugged me. Like, it was such a comforting feeling, and I knew that I was in good hands. Like, I knew that Laura was gonna take care of me no matter what happens in that chamber. When she hugged me, I felt so much warmth. Like, it was so sweet. Like I was hugging an angel or something. How did you come to guide people to this place?
So I've been here 5 years, and when I came, I was in a very deep healing process as well, and releasing a lot of grief and anger around some disappointments that I had felt, specifically around my mother and father. During the pandemic, I was guided, I believe deeply, by my ancestors to walk in this section that we are now in. And as I was walking, I came across the entryway, which is the reception area, and it looked very similar to this. This is actually very much of the Lemurian codes and the colors, and I'm a mermaid at heart. So these colors, I feel, are very much imprinted on my soul. So I just felt this gravitational pull, and one of the staff said, would you like to see our Lemurian stone chamber? It felt like a homecoming for me. I met the founder and the visionary. So when he was in his Saturn return, which is what you're in, which is what I was in when my parents transitioned and I lost all my money in the stock market and became suicidal, he was also having a very similar experience, and he started to receive guidance that he was to create a wellness area in Bali. So he started to heed the call of that. His ancestors would literally wake him up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and he would receive downloads and transmissions, blueprints, which has ultimately become this eco-resort that we're in now. Now, these stones that you're about to experience were all throughout Indonesia. And the stones started to communicate to the villagers that they were about to go on a Mecca. Ultimately, they found their way here. It was probably about 3 months ago I started to really feel this pull to unite my service and my gifts as a light worker and as a healer to come into service with the ancient technologies of these stones, and to take people on a journey of remembrance, activation of their Akashic records, to connect them and unite them with their soul. It's all divine, and the people that are coming are light workers. They're starting to awaken to their deeper purpose. They're starting to really own on a deep level their multidimensionality and their vast ancestral spiritual heritage.
I have a lot of questions about Lemuria, about galactic origins, about your journey. I have a lot of questions, but I feel like I kind of don't want to think about this. I just really want to just be open and see what happens and not analyze it too much. So what are we going to do? Just tell me. I'm ready. I'm open and available for whatever is meant to happen.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask her so many questions, and I wanted to roll the cameras and like drill her on all these questions on ancient Lemuria and be like, yo, can you please give me some evidence to show me if this is real? Like, what are you doing? Are you just a crazy lady that's gonna just like take me on some trippy experience? Like, what are we doing? And what I felt when I met her was like, you know what? Don't try and figure this out. For some reason, my intuition is telling me, just put away your skeptical brain and just do the thing.
As we head into the chamber, I will be guiding you as to the medicine, the elemental medicine of each stone. And your job is to surrender, trust the process, stay with the breath. If there's any activations of light language, any song from your soul, any aspects of you that feels that you want to move, it's for you to honor that and to be guided through this journey of remembrance. Yes.
I was curious about how did you receive permissions from the people here, the spirits here? Like, how did you feel that you're able to step into the role of guiding people?
I'm quite close with the visionary, and so he and I had a meditation in the chamber, and he recognized that I come from that pure Lemurian lineage. What you'll find is that if you're invited and you find your way to the stones, that is the essential permission. And then it's up to us if we want to receive that and activate that and step into that. Okay. So I didn't get a literal. I got a vast, deep bow and namaste for the journey that's brought me here.
Okay, I'm like, I could ask you 100 more questions, but
analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
This is about full receptivity, knowing you already deeply know on a cellular level, and so the more the mind gets involved, the more it starts to shut down the magic and the receptivity and the wisdom.
Okay, yeah. Let's go.
When you're ready, go ahead and spread your wings. Share your birth name 3 times aloud and keeping your eyes closed. Okay.
Skylar Amy Cowens. Skylar Amy Cowens. Skylar Amy Cowens.
When I was standing at the door, I felt like something was gonna happen. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but whoa. buckle up because something is about to go down.
Whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes.
When she had me open my eyes and she had me stare at that eagle, at first I wanted to laugh when I opened my eyes. I was like, I almost like thought it was so funny. And then immediately I just had this wave of emotion come over me where I felt like, oh my God, I am looking at a past life. I am looking at lifetimes of being connected to the earth. I am remembering these lives that we have lost. I felt this overwhelming wave of emotion of like, I'm remembering. We need to remember. We need to remember who we are. We need to remember who we are. This is so important for humanity's future, is to remember where we came from. And I felt like in that moment I had a flood of remembering where I came from.
I'm going to open the gates to the portal. You're going to stand here. These two stones are going to scan your body, send the message to a center stone. It will calibrate exactly what your body, soul, and spirit is needing. Whenever you're ready, step into the chamber.
When I entered this chamber, I felt like I was no longer in my day-to-day reality. I felt like I was transcending to like a different dimension or something. I could feel the energy of this place. It was so tranquil. It just felt so safe.
Welcome home. So each time it's time to move from the stone, you'll hear me ring a bell. I want to keep you as internal as possible. It's okay to step in the water if you want. I'm going to be there to support you from one stone to the next. Just take your time. Yeah, just let yourself be with energy. This is petrified Morianga. This is one of the most ancient stones on our planet. This stone will support you with any obsession of the mind, any scattered energies. This is the stone for renewal. It is the foundation for new beginnings.
When I laid on that first stone, I felt held in a different space and time. It's like my consciousness was transported somewhere. I was then entering into almost like a psychedelic-like state. Very soon into the experience, I felt the release coming on. I felt my throat just needing to open up, and I felt this feeling from deep within my womb erupting out of me. I've had these experiences happen before in healing sessions, and I know now it's very simple. It's nothing to be afraid of, and it might look a little strange or weird. But what this is simply just a release of trauma that's been held in the body. It's just a release of energy and stored emotion that we've been holding on to that hasn't had time to be seen or heard or felt. And when this comes up, it is just wanting to be felt and to be released and to be free. When we can allow ourselves to go into that space and really let it move through the body, on the other side of it is so much freedom. I personally feel that somatic release that moves energy through the body is so much more effective than just talk therapy that kind of like keeps you in a loop of a story. And I'm not saying talk therapy is bad. I think it's really important. Somatic healing is so powerful. And I've experienced myself like the miracle of what happens when you release energy through physical movement and sound and shaking. And it's just like, it's just like a deep breath. It's just, it just feels like, I can breathe again. I can be me again. I can come back to the truth of who I am again. And it feels good. It was such a sensual experience too. Like it felt out of body, yet I felt so connected to my body because it was such a sensory experience in terms of like the mist she was using and the smells and the touch. It was like, whoa, I was getting tingles all over my body. So the second stone, which was the green jade for detox, on this stone is where I really felt a big release, especially through my legs. I spent hours of my life playing soccer every day after school, 2-hour practice, every weekend, tournaments, games, and like it was super hardcore, super competitive. It really forced me to be in my masculine. I remember feeling a lot of shame around when I wouldn't perform well or I wasn't doing well, and like my coaches yelling at me or whatever it was. I felt on this stone like all of that energy that I've been storing in my legs through all of my years of soccer, that masculine, hardcore, like cutthroat energy was wanting to be released and shaken out of me. I needed to shake it out of my legs, and my legs wouldn't stop shaking and moving. It felt really good, and I had so many flashbacks of memories from soccer practice or soccer tournaments and games of my coaches and my teammates, and I really have so much gratitude for that time. And I feel that I'm coming into a new way of being, which is being so much more in my feminine, and that part of me is ready to be released, and I'm ready to shift my way of being, and it's requiring me to be in a lot more flow and ease and gentleness, and not as much of the masculine, hardcore, cutthroat, rigid doingness, but more of a way of being. And this experience was kind of like a big letting go of those many years of being in the masculine. So by the middle of this experience, I was in full-on trance. I was in deep presence. It was so blissful. It was so juicy. It just felt so good in my nervous system. And I think that's a really important thing to consider here, is that We may not fully understand something or be able to make sense of it, but if it feels so good and right, that's something to really follow and to look at. What feels most nourishing, maybe that's a better word than good, but what feels most nourishing is a beautiful thing to follow, or a way to make choices is to follow what feels most nourishing. When we got to the third stone, which is the red jasper.
This is red jasper. This is the stone of courage, following your heart. This is a stone to activate your dreams, your trust in your journey.
This is when a lot of my language was coming on. And when Laura would speak to me in her language, when we were speaking our language together, I can't explain it, but I know what she's saying. It's like I knew what she was saying, I knew what I was saying. We were having a full-on energetic dialogue and conversation, and it makes no sense. My human self just wants it to make sense, but I just know that it feels good and it feels right. It was like, oh, this feels like my long lost soul grandmother or something, like sharing such deep wisdom with me and like holding me, and her voice just comforted me so deeply, and it felt like she was speaking a language to me that I knew. I felt the ancient nature of my soul. Like, we are ancient souls. Some of us, you know, maybe not everyone on earth, I don't know, maybe some of us are younger souls. I don't really know how it works. I just know that my soul feels ancient. It does. And I feel that we all have so many lives that we've lived. We have such deep ancestry, and we all do go back to these indigenous communities that lived such a different way and lived in harmony with the earth and lived so connected to the cosmos and were so in prayer and communion with Mother Nature, with the elements, with community. Like, I felt that when I saw that eagle, all of that I remembered, and I was so moved by it, and I wanted to live that way now. I'm having a hard time knowing how to explain this to you in a way that actually makes sense, and I am going to just surrender to the fact that it's probably not going to make sense to a lot of you, but I know to a lot of you it will. That state of just being in this moment all the way, that is the state that I want to cultivate more of in all areas of my life. And this was an experience in the stone chamber that provided that. It was beautiful. And I know it could be perceived all these different ways, and yeah, maybe it's going to be judged or projected on, and okay, if you have that perspective and you don't get it, that's okay, because I know my experience.
This is black jade. This is the great alchemizer. This is where you let go of everything that's no longer serving you. Anger, sadness, grief.
when Laura was hugging me on this stone and holding me, I just felt in the hands of an ancient mother, a soul grandmother, an angel. I don't know, I just felt like our souls were connected, and I felt like she was holding me as one of her soul daughters. I just felt so safe. It felt so good to just let myself cry in her arms and just like be held and just surrender. Are we long lost souls from ancient Lemuria? I don't know. How are we supposed to know that? How are you actually supposed to know how to explain this stuff? Like, maybe we don't need to know. Maybe we can just be okay with not knowing and trust that our experience at least is valid. I want to stop gaslighting myself. Like, I get really skeptical about these things, and you guys see that through all my videos. I'm always skeptical, and I mainly come in from that perspective because I want to know truth and I'm seeking truth. But what if the truth was how much we can fully accept our own experience? As a curious seeker, we want to understand it all, but I can't understand it all. I don't want to try anymore to understand it all. It's exhausting. I just want to be. What if the truth wasn't how we explain something or make sense of something, but what if the truth was deeper than that? What if the truth is something that we really have to know on a deeper level within our souls? I just want to be free and present and live my dream reality full out and going with this experience and not questioning myself, not overthinking things, not trying to make sense of things. Like, oh my God, I'm over that. I really am. And I feel like this Lemurian stone chamber thing was like a huge switch, like a huge catalyst for that, because this is kind of what this experience represents for me. Is like, stop trying to fucking figure it out. Just be with. And it feels so much more nourishing.
So the next tears that come, your guides are inviting you to put the tears into your mouth as a symbolic gesture of alchemizing your pain, your tears into your deep nourishment and your medicine. So no need to wipe them away. Okay. This is multicolored jasper. This is the ultimate nurturer. This is the mothering energy. This is the energy to be in full receptivity to everything that you're welcoming and inviting into this incarnation, this experience. Draw one card, hold it to your heart. We'll explore what it means outside.
So Laura had me exit the chamber and walk around barefoot on this land, and in this state, I felt like I could have stayed there forever. Like I didn't want to move very fast. I was in such a deep state of being, and I felt no need to move quickly or to rush. I just was fully embracing every step and every breath, and I felt like I was anchoring into the embodiment of the experience and really letting it sink into my body so that I could walk forward with this energy coming out of this. And at that point, there was no part of me that needed any answers.
Slowly illuminate the card.
Yes. Balanced forces. It feels like exactly the guidance that was coming is exactly this. It's about balancing masculine and feminine energy. And I was so in masculine for so long, like very extreme. It created a lot of pain and stress and anxiety and just me not feeling like myself and depression. And then I've been rebalancing and really honoring my feminine, but I've been so uncomfortable in doing it. It's every time I feel like I'm in feminine flow and receptivity, I'm like, is this safe or is this okay for me to be in this state? And then I feel if I'm too in feminine, I'm like, okay, but I need to do things.
How would you define yourself if you didn't define yourself as masculine or feminine? Because that identity is actually very limiting to who you're becoming and who you've become.
Yeah. I know what I need, so I know when the call is to be in masculine energy. I know when the call is needed to be in feminine.
Who would you be if you never defined yourself as masculine and feminine? So share with me who you are.
Yeah.
You know it in light language.
Yeah.
You know it in your core.
Yeah.
The masculine feminine is very limited
Yeah.
in what you just transitioned into.
Yeah.
So how would you describe yourself?
A balanced, grounded being that knows why I'm here.
Woo! Yes. Exclamation point.
Yeah.
And what do you think that are about right now for you?
I think maybe it's a fear of speaking my truth sometimes. Yeah, feeling like I really want to just own who I am, but there's so many judgments that are thrown at you, and it doesn't stop me, but it's like I just want to fully unleash my expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about Lemuria?
Lemuria was very pure, so the souls only incarnated once in Lemuria. It was a matriarchal society where the women were revered as the shamans, as the spiritual teachers, meaning that the men could certainly carry wisdom, but because of the nature of the being to give birth, to provide nutrition, and inherently have a degree of compassion and intuition, they were very much revered and honored. And it was a place where all sentient beings were revered. So that's probably why you pick up so much on that, just nurturing energies, so pure love and compassion and joy, oneness, unity with nature. They would never in a million trillion years think of doing harm to another sentient being. So what you're sharing about the fear of being fully expressed, part of what this big awakening is around right now is the recognition that the only judgment actually resides within your own self, the mind, because there is no other. So everything is a reflection of your core relationship with self. And the abandonment comes when we disassociate with our true nature. It's that depression is actually spawned from an illusion or a narrative that we're running, that God, Source, Spirit is outside of us, that we're powerless, that we can't be authentic to who we are. The more you can affirm who you are, activate that vibration of who you are, feel it in your being, you have access to it. I witnessed it there. You get to reboot, you get to commit to who you're choosing to be in allegiance to. And I invite you to be very mindful and heartful, because there is a clean slate when you left this chamber. So there was an initiation into welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. How would you meet yourself right now? Our words, spellings, cast spells. So really being mindful to only speak stories that feel deeply resonant to your heart and your being. Tell stories to yourself that you would tell to a 3 or 4-year-old before bedtime. Be careful, full of care, to not unconsciously sort of recite what has been. Just keep yourself as present as possible. I mean, if you were to retrace your literal steps, you wouldn't feel forward momentum.
It's like all of my logical questions that I want answered, maybe it's not meant to be answered.
It was answered.
Yeah.
But in a way that's going to be deeply meaningful for the continuation of your journey.
You feel like just a motherly angel to me. I know that no matter what ancient Lemuria was or wasn't, and what it even means, I just know that what I experienced was real for me. Was my experience actually related to the ancient civilization of Lemuria? I have no idea, but I know and I feel that my experience was connected to something ancient, something that has been lost, some type of ancient wisdom or codes that we have forgotten but are being called right now to remember for a reason. And I've been remembering them. I'm just navigating what that means and how to go about that in the world. But I know that a lot of you have been remembering them too. I know. And you're not alone. You are not alone if you have been remembering who you are and why you're here. We are remembering who we are and why we are here, and we are being called to collectively co-create a new reality here on this planet together through integration of these ancient codes and ancient wisdom. I feel this is so important for the future of humanity and how we're going to evolve, and I'm here for it. And if you're here for it too, let me know, please, in the comments. Please let me know if this resonates with you. Like, I want to hear from you. If this is landing, if this is resonating, please let me know so that we can all see that we're not alone here. Even if you think you're alone, even if you're in a part of the country or part of the world or in a friend group or in a family that doesn't get it, that doesn't get you, there are people out there that do, and you're gonna find them. They're here. It's available for you. We're creating it, and it's happening. And the Vibe Tribe is happening. Come hang out with us in Discord. Sign up for the newsletter. Come to a retreat. Come and experience this. It's real. We're doing it, and it feels so good and so nourishing. Alrighty, beautiful people. Thank you so much for coming on that journey with me. Thank you for your presence. And that's it for this episode of Sky Live. I love y'all so much, and the adventure continues. Bye.
Easy, let it come, let the sister sun hit ya. Easy, let it come.